Check.
Hip hop, hippity the hip hop.
Check. Oh yeah, here, all you guys check.
Hello,
Check.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Check.
That's right. That's right. Now is the time to open your mind in our search for the unknown. Who knows what we will find? This is Emergency Exit. I am your host, Los, and with me, as always, is Nick, I before E, Ryder.
No, E before I.
Fuck.
Except that
Fuck.
PC.
And now joining us once again is Brandon Big Ol' Balls Mitchell. That's right. Big Ol' Balls. That's how it's going to go for you now.
Big old balls.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
B.O.B.
There are worse rumors to have about you.
Yeah, you know, I wish I had like a rumor like that.
Right? Well, how big are we talking? Like Randy Marsh, wheelbarrow style?
No, nothing like that. I mean, they fit
like comfortably large.
Comfortably large.
All right.
They're a manageable size.
Oh my God, this is our next song parody. Pink Floyd's Comfortably Large.
Comfortably large. This is episode 33. Today is May 9th.
Now, isn't that a big conspiracy number? Sorry to keep interrupting, but 33.
33 is like it's the
like
highest
the Freemason
level
number,
that you
right?
can get up to Freemasonry, all that good shit.
That's right.
That's right. And today is May 9th, 2017. We are here again in our deep underground studio, underground bunker thing studio.
Yeah.
And we are here once again. Everyone's clapping. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll be streaming live. Actually, we're not streaming live. We're recording live.
Yeah.
We're recording live for the audience.
So don't try to call in.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah,
this will probably
we
get
aren't
cut out.
here.
This will probably get cut out anyway. So if you're seeing the video of this, you're getting some exclusive stuff. All right. So today on the show, we will talk about the psychology of conspiracies with Dr. Michael Wood, who we talked to earlier.
Yeah.
That's right. And we're gonna play
It was
that
pretty
for you.
interesting, I gotta say.
Really, really good, man.
Yeah.
I must say that I wanted y'all to be more with me on the crazy ideas that I was trying to throw at him to see what he'd say, but a lot of dead air is going to be cut out. I'll tell you what. Needed my boys on my side.
Do some research. No, I mean, it was fine. It was just we derailed a lot, and I felt like he wasn't getting enough.
Yeah. Well,
he wasn't getting enough time to respond or to interject. We were just like, we went from 9/11 to rat people or something. Like, we just went so far off topic.
reptilian.
We did spend a lot of time on everything, including 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, so
that was definitely the main point of the discussion somehow. Well, it was also the example. Anytime we were discussing something with him, that was like the go-to example.
Yeah. So
that's fun.
We also will be playing, actually we'll do that first, to Postman Pauly.
Give us a call, he got a story for us all about the post. Don't have another crazy tale about delivering a million. No, he never seems to fail, he always makes us laugh. What happens on his route is what he's telling us about. He's a Postman Pauly.
So who's Postman Pauly, you might be asking yourself? Well, Nick,
That would be a very good question.
Nick knows somebody through another person, and he calls himself Postman Pauly. And he's got some crazy old Texarkana stories about him being a dang old tell you what postman.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's more in his delivery. Like the stories are pretty crazy, but he's got such a way of storytelling.
That southern drawl, that just fun that he has with it, just kind of makes it all kind of fun.
It's sort of, I feel it's like almost a Tarantino movie in the way that it's not in chronological order, and it's some crazy detail will come out of left field and completely blindside you that you're not. Yeah, and it's like you're always at the edge of your seat because you have no idea what's going to happen in a Postman Pauly story.
That's right. So without any further ado, here's Postman Pauly.
All right, so we've got Postman Pauly. We'll leave him some anonymity.
Postman Pauly.
Postman Pauly.
It's a great alliteration for his name there.
Right. It's perfect. He happens to drum with the TJB.
Oh, you play the drums for the TJ.
He's the drummist for the TJB.
That's right.
You're busted. Now we know who you are.
Yeah, so much
now
for
they know who we are.
so much for your anonymity.
we don't want to be known that who we are because we don't want to go
Well,
through
you're-
some kind of
well, wait
government
a minute.
regulation.
Wait a minute.
You're
wait,
good.
wait.
You're still anonymous.
What's with
He's
the
not.
What's with the lady's voice? So we have a post lady as well on the other line.
See,
Oh, there's three of us. There's me, another lady, and then there's Paul. And there's all three of us conference all day long for 5, 6,
yeah,
12
they're all
hours a
talking
day.
on the route.
Oh, so
right
okay,
now.
so what?
So she's like verifying the story that Pauly's going to tell us.
So
See,
she's like the witness.
yes, the bit we're doing here is Postman Pauly delivers for an unknown carrier of mail in a random city here in the great state
Town.
town in the great state of Lone Star. We're trying to keep this on the DL.
Because he works for the government.
Yeah.
Yes. So he comes across some of the wackiest shit that I've ever heard, and he talks about it at shows and on the bus and stuff, and I've decided that he needs to share it with our listeners. So we've got him calling in, and I don't know who...
What's the craziest thing you heard him say, and then have him say that story, or?
Oh, he said he's got one. He's got one right. I mean, he's got quite
one
a few,
ready.
but he's got one. He's
Postman
got one
Pauly?
prepared. So we got.
He's got a special customer, and when I say special, she is above. She's made accusations. She says that he's been telling people she's a baby killer, and
Wow.
he says that she accuses him of
Slow down. So how did we? He's on this route.
So he's on his route.
His route.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
He's on his route,
Get it right
not his
then.
route. And
on
he
the
experiences a lady that's. You see people every single day, and you see the
Same
name,
people,
the
I'm
same
sure.
people. And apparently, I used to know my old neighbor, my old male lady back in the day. Her name was Cheryl, and she worked on Cheryl Street. It was easy to remember.
I used to know mine because she was my mom, but
Oh. Okay, so
my mom delivered mail. That's where I'm going with this.
Nick, the derailer.
to protect her name.
So,
this particular chick to protect her name, we call her the whore.
She's the whore.
The
So
whore.
this lady at this house is a whore. How do you know she's a
She lives on
whore?
Whore Drive.
Why do you call her a whore?
Because she lives on Whore Drive.
Oh, it's a whore drive.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
the neighbors claim that she might be a little loose. We're not really sure.
Oh, okay.
okay,
So you
so
think
this is substantial at the
Well,
moment.
it all started.
Okay, here we go.
I've been delivering the mail over there for a few years already, and she was real friendly and started
Well, yeah, she's a whore.
meeting me out there. Yeah, and meeting me out there, and she would talk, she talks real like a little girl, like a little kid. She talks just as
She's
yeah,
like,
she's like,
hi. Yes, hi.
Oh, you guys did it at the same time. All right. Okay, we got it.
And then, so anyway, she gets to, talking to me here and there as I'm coming through and handing her stuff. But then it got to be where she started saying some weird, talking about, listening to the radio. That's how they control you. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Like just through the radio and the TV, like they.
And it's controlling
Like,
you.
That's how they get you to do stuff like wipe your ass. And I was like, right. So anyway, it starts progressing, or it gets,
It gets worse.
it keeps going on. And so then she starts telling me about how the neighbors have been coming over there and harassing her and doing all this stuff. And then it went on to she heard me talking about her.
Oh shit.
And then she was saying the neighbors were calling her a baby killer and a whore, and
Which
And then she was doing all this stuff, and then it got to be like, every time I come through there, she started calling me fuckface. Like, right, you know, and she...
Well, was it like pleasant, like, oh, hello, Mr. Fuckface?
Oh, you know, I always like that. Yeah, so, I mean, so in a way, like, but she should be mean too, you know. And she gets mean. She get ugly with it. Like, sometimes really.
So wait, hey Paul, Postman Pauly. So would she say it in a nice tone, like, "Hey, what's going on, fuckface?" Or would she always just be like, "Oh, what's up, fuckface?" How would she say it to you?
More like that.
Yeah, she'd be like, "What's up, fuckface?"
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
So for no reason other than the neighbors talk shit, or no, she heard you say something.
No reason.
And she thinks you're colluding with the neighbors.
Yes.
Okay.
And then,
all right.
Yes.
Well, then, you know, time goes. This is stretched out over a few-year period now. Yeah,
It's just been going on.
This is routine for years.
She disappeared for a while. I think they put her in like a middle thing or something. And I know at one point she had supposedly went running down the street naked.
Yeah.
Like yelling.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have been good.
Oh, she's not good looking.
I don't think.
I just picture her as a hot evil
A
bitch.
little bit of mouth going on, you know, and.
Ugh. Ugh.
And,
Gross.
After her face looks like it might have been something wrong with the side of her face. She doesn't look normal. She's not. Something's not
Like a stroke face or something?
Supposedly met her. She's from Canada, and the guy who she's married to supposedly met her online. And moved her down here, and they got married. And then over time, she's just gone more wacko.
She's got Ivanka on this shit. Ivanka Trump. No. Okay. Not that topical? Okay. Sorry about that.
Well, I remember I was telling a buddy of mine about her.
Oops.
I remember I was telling a buddy of mine about her, and for the longest time, and I accidentally ran over her dog too.
Oh, you ran over your dog?
He didn't ask. No, this look. I was the witness.
Are you saying it wasn't accidental?
No, look. He was with the
Accidentally ran over her dog.
Are you saying he didn't do it, or he didn't accidentally do it?
Mm-mm. The supervisor was riding with him. Now, weeks prior to him running over her dog, he's like, God dang, these motherfucking dogs. They're always, you hear it, yelp, 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 bark. He's like, they're going to get run over. He said, I'm going to run these little fuckers over. He said, I've already seen one dead in the road down the road. He said, they're going to get run over. Well, then the boss rides with us. And then all of a sudden, they're cruising down there, and the boss is in the back seat, and then plump, plump, and the boss is like, got him.
Holy shit. The postmaster was on it.
I mean, the whole car, like, lifted up. I mean,
oh, my God.
So these dogs have been running loose. And I've ran around before I went full time. And these dogs are always out there, and I have always swerved to hit them. I've never got as lucky as Pauly over here. But he gets out with the boss, and the boss is like, ma'am, we're sorry. And she's like, that's my favorite dog. That's my dog, my favorite dog.
My favorite dog?
Like, you've got 12 of the bastards, all of the same color running the road, and you don't even know what one's what.
They got like the mange and stuff, you know.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, poor shit.
Before you go, I'll just wrap it up that she disappeared for a while and she came back and she's been real nice. And then until just the other day, I pull up and she's out there and I thought everything was normal. And as I'm pulling up, she's like, well, look at you. Shit face.
Shit face. Oh, that's fantastic. So she's back.
The story continues.
Postman Pauly gonna give us a call. He got a story for us all about the postal spam. Another crazy tale about delivering a million. No, he never seemed to fail. He always makes us laugh. What happened?
Look at you. Shit face.
That's right.
Shit face.
Shit face. That was the story of shit face.
That was
Now
a good
available.
introductory story, and now we have a new soundboard
Now
clip.
available on the soundboard. That is correct.
Shit face.
That's right.
It's a good time being on the bus with that guy. I tell you what.
Yeah. You know, next time we won't have that lady on, huh? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's his story. I feel
Yeah, I want him to tell the story.
he should tell a story.
Yeah, that's right.
Postman Pauly.
Postman
Is-
Pauly.
And I'm assuming Pauly is him.
Yes.
Well-
yeah, but
I thought it was a very lovely story.
All right, the grandma.
I
Okay.
mean, he likes them to collude, or not collude, but they're all talking together. So
yeah,
he
they
feels
all,
that
they're all part of the story. I
they help
guess.
put it into words better than he thinks he can. But
Yeah.
I think he could do it. He does it on the bus all the time, so I have confidence.
So earlier today, we got together and recorded an interview with Dr. Michael Wood on the psychology of conspiracies. Why do people believe in them? We don't know, but we asked him. We asked him a bunch of other questions.
A lot of questions.
Some revealing questions, actually. Do you want to know if he's a reptile? He's a reptilian?
Ooh.
Or do you want to know if he's a paid shill? He answers these questions. So, let's step into the mystic as we talk to Dr. Michael Wood. That's right. Hey, we're talking to Dr. Michael Wood about the psychology of conspiracies. Hey, man, thanks for being with us. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Doing well.
Thanks,
How are you?
man? Very, very well,
Good.
man. So tell us a little bit about your background before we get into it. I know you got a lot of things about your background you'd like to say first.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm a psychologist, a social psychologist. I live and work in the UK at the University of Winchester, and my main area of study is the psychology of conspiracy theories. As this is a topic that goes back a long time for me. You know, back in the '90s, I used to watch the X-Files.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like the internet of the late 1990s, and I kind of got online, you know, sort of mid-teens, and I went out, and there was this wonderful world out there of people who thought about things in a very different way than I did.
Sure.
And my own views have changed a lot since then, but it just got me thinking about, you know, what can explain like how all these people could look at basically the same things that are happening, but come to such different conclusions about them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what got me into it and what set me off on this path. So now I look at conspiracy theories from a psychological perspective, and you know, why is it that some people believe them, others reject them, and others are kind of somewhere in between.
Okay. Without getting into specifics right now, do you buy into any, or do you, having studied the psychology of them for so long, do you now look at the whole conspiracy theory ideal as kind of silly or?
I would say generally, I don't think it's silly exactly. Whether I believe conspiracy theories, you know, I'm going to give you a very boring and kind of evasive answer. It depends how you define conspiracy theory, because nobody can actually agree on what a conspiracy theory is. That's one of the first things that you sort of figure out when you go into this field.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a negative term, and you don't want to think, yeah, I believe all the conspiracy theories. All of my beliefs are a conspiracy theory, and all these things that other people believe are not conspiracy theories, because that makes you seem crazy.
Right. Sure.
So people don't want to, you know, label themselves as being conspiracy theorists, because that has kind of a negative connotation to it. So it's hard to get a grip on it. But, you know, under some definitions, I believe probably a lot of conspiracy theories, and you all do too, unless you're insane.
That's right.
And under other definitions, I'm like quite skeptical about them. I'd say that in general, I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but you know, it kind of depends on the topic.
Okay. That's fair.
All right. You got anything to say, Brandon?
No, that was great.
All right, cool, man. So what kind of work do you it started with what happened to Building 7, is that correct? What got everyone's attention with you?
The one before that, actually. So these are some papers that I published. There was one that was called "What About Building 7: A Social Psychological Study of Online Discussion of 9/11 Conspiracy Theories," and it was basically looking at online comments and the stuff that the comments that people would leave on news websites. So we looked at CNN and we looked at the Daily Mail and a couple others, and just looked at how people argued about conspiracy theories. So this was part of my PhD thesis. And my supervisor and I, we looked at all these different articles and looked at how people argued. And we sort of looked at each comment and we said, okay, well, what sort of argument is this person making, right? Are they arguing against something or are they arguing for something? So like if I want to convince you that 9/11 was an inside job, I can argue against the official theory and I can say, well, there's no way that the planes would have made the towers collapse. And, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. It's the old meme, right?
Okay.
And that's like a negative argument, right? Because I'm saying the official story can't explain that. Or I can make a positive argument and I can say, well, the NORAD was told to stand down by Cheney. Cheney made them call off all their, air traffic control, like not phrasing this properly, but basically he told NORAD to stand down, and that can only be explained by it being an inside job. Cheney wouldn't have ordered that unless it was, an inside job. So that's a positive argument. I'm making an argument for my own theory, right?
Okay.
And the big finding there was that people who were advocating for conspiracy theories, like the truthers, basically in the comments of these news stories, they were saying that the official story can't be true, right? But they weren't so much arguing for the conspiracy theory. They would never say, this proves that the conspiracy theory is true. They would say that this proves that the official story is wrong. And then the people who were arguing against the conspiracy theories, who were arguing for the official story, they were doing the opposite. So they would argue for the official story. They say, actually, the official story can't explain this. And then, but they wouldn't so much say, well, look, your conspiracy theory doesn't make sense because it can't account for this.
Okay.
So that was the big finding there. And then the other one, which I think got less press attention ultimately, was one before that, where we looked at sort of contradictory conspiracy theories and how people deal with conspiracy theories, like multiple contradictory ones about the same topic. So that was another study. But yeah, those were the sort of the early ones, I guess.
Okay. Like as far as conspiracy theories go, shouldn't we be like maybe a little bit suspicious of them because they typically involve, governments, large corporations, things where a vast majority of the population doesn't see like the inner workings, and so they have just limited information and knowledge, and they generally kind of fill in the gap. Is that, isn't that just kind of human nature?
Yeah, to some extent. And we know that people come up with more conspiracy theories when they're in a position of uncertainty, right? Okay. Like if you don't know what's going on, you have very limited information, you're trying to make sense of what's happening. That's when conspiracy theories are more likely to appear. There's studies showing this, that if you give people this feeling of uncertainty, they get more suspicious about things and they're more likely to see conspiracies out there in the world. And I think conspiracy theories, I think that's one of the reasons why you see this pattern where people argue against the official story rather than for a conspiracy theory, because it's hard to build like a theory that is really robust and specific and can account for lots of different bits of evidence, right? It's easier to try to disprove something and to try to come up with evidence that doesn't fit a particular theory than to build a new theory that does fit that evidence and all the other evidence that's out there.
So it's more like this. It's arguing this doesn't make sense as opposed to I for sure have the answer, because it's unknown, so they can't really form a solid story. It's just easier to knock down the other one that you're unsure of, I guess.
Yeah, that's basically the idea. And like conspiracy theories, like this is the main sort of thrust of my work, my own work. All the psychologists who study this stuff have kind of their own take on conspiracy theories. And my big one for the moment is basically that conspiracy theories are really vague, and they do best when they're vague, right? Right. Like when a conspiracy theory gets super specific and it says, this happens and this happens and this is exactly how that worked, and really puts itself out there, they don't tend to do very well. And the most successful conspiracy theories are the ones that are kind of amorphous, right? Like if you look at the 9/11 truth movement, there's no single theory that everybody rallies around. You have the people who just think that, they let it happen on purpose. You have the people who think that,
they planned it.
Al-Qaeda was like hired by the CIA to do it. But the planes brought down the towers. Then you have people who think that there were demolition charges, people who think that there was a plane at the Pentagon, people who think there was a missile, people who think that it was space lasers and there were no planes at all. You have like this massive diversity of opinion. It's a big tent, right? They call it like a big tent, and they have these disagreements among themselves. But for the most part, they don't like to do that, right? They mostly try to target whatever the official story is, because that's the one thing they all agree on. The official story is wrong.
Sure.
Okay.
And it all stems from there. Do you believe what story do you believe of the 9/11 attacks?
Well, for basically the reasons that I just said, I think that the sort of mainstream account of 9/11 is basically correct. I mean, in terms of the mechanics of what happened, I guess you could say, like, I think that the planes crashed into the towers and knocked off the fireproofing, and then jet fuel caused, structural fires and collapse, and Building 7 was hit by debris. I think that most of that stuff holds up relatively well, and I don't think there's another theory that explains it better. If you want to look at, the geopolitics behind it, and did they ignore, warnings, and was there was somebody sleeping on the job, or did somebody think, hey, maybe we should let this happen? Who knows? I mean, that stuff all happens behind closed doors anyway.
Right.
But in terms of the arguments that you see about specific things, I don't think those hold up very well for the most part.
Okay.
They don't hold up too well. I sort of still believe that we let that happen, kind of further our agenda to go to war and get Saddam and his weapons of mass destruction and whatnot, and do some more about getting into Al Qaeda. I guess they all had a reason to do that, and I just believe that could have been more than likely happen, instead of it being in the air so long and those planes being in the air so long. And why didn't something happen? I don't know.
Well, we'll have to do a separate 9/11 show, all right? We can't
definitely
just focus on this one the whole time.
Well, this is the thing, though. I mean, like, you have it's hard to tell because people cover their asses in situations like this. When there's some massive awful thing that happens, people don't want to be blamed for it, and people go and scramble around and try to make it look like it's not their fault, and it muddies the waters a lot. So it's hard to tell, what actually happened.
Well, as far as the behind the scenes stuff, we're never gonna. It's not like anybody's gonna come out and go, "Hey, you know what? I actually did plan this whole thing just so I could go get Saddam." Ha ha ha. Yeah. Like, nobody's gonna come out and finally come clean. So I don't know that we'll ever really know where the motive really lies.
Right.
Other than the given story.
But I think, is there an answer somewhere that can be revealed?
Maybe we need Fox and Mulder on the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you had the guy who was Deep Throat in Watergate. He basically confessed on his deathbed, right? He said, I'm dying. Screw it. I'll just tell you exactly what happened. It was me the whole time. So,
maybe
down the line, who knows what people are going to confess to.
Sure. I guess, that's valid.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't that make their paranoia of what their story was now? This is happening. The Saudis made it happen, and then that will come out later, all declassified. But people think they were crazy at the time, but really, then later it'll show that they weren't. Like Operation. What are some of these operations that happened there? The Gulf of Tonkin incident, Project MK Ultra, the Northwoods. These kind of things, paperclip. These kind of things come out later.
Although, to be fair, Northwoods never actually happened. Kennedy put the kibosh on it.
He did kibosh it, but that kind of thing being even put out there in the first place, and maybe there were other presidents that let them through. Which, of course, that's why we have some other these other projects.
Gladio is a perfect example of one of these things, right? And there were theories about that at the time in Italy. I'm pretty sure that it was all this. These were all false flag attacks, and it wasn't actually the communists and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've got a listener question for you next. Is there a correlation between people who suffer from severe anxiety and those who believe heavily in conspiracy theories?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. I want to say generally no. I think somebody's looked at this. I can't think of the reference off the top of my head. God, there was just a study that looked at this, and I want to say if there is a correlation, it's a fairly weak one. One thing that they have found recently is that people who are under more stress tend to believe more conspiracy theories. So if you just poll people on how much stress they're feeling, or you make them feel stressed in a particular situation, then their conspiracy theory belief tends to go up. So that's one thing that's out there, and I can sort of see the rationale for anxiety as well. I think it kind of fits into the same place. You know, that you're generally worried about, you know, the world being an awful place or people trying to pull one over on you. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, that's really one of the messages of this whole body of work, right? That conspiracy theories are just, in a way, kind of the normal human suspicion that we all feel. You know, we all have this motivation to figure out if somebody's trying to pull one over on us, or if somebody has like some sneaky thing that they're trying to do that screws us over in some way. And
right.
Yeah, it totally fits with that.
Okay,
it's sort of normal to think like a conspiracy theorist sometime then. Sort of normal.
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on how you define conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorist. Because, you know, when people say conspiracy theorist, they picture basically Mel Gibson from the movie Conspiracy Theory.
Right. Like a room covered newspaper clippings with strings everywhere.
Strings everywhere.
It's all attached.
Yeah. Or the number 23 or whatever. Like every conspiracy theorist is automatically like, okay, well, if you add the 9 and the 2, that makes 11, and then you like just
the 11th month of the year.
Yeah,
it's November. November is fall time.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of what's going on with the flat Earth? What's going on? It's that it's gaining more people's.
Well, it is gaining popularity.
Popularity, yes, if you will.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You know, I always, I'm kind of disappointed that it's the flat Earth and not the hollow Earth, because I love the hollow Earth.
We just talked to somebody about hollow Earth, and
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Now, flat Earth, I don't. To be honest, there's not a lot of research out there about flat Earth. It's kind of hard with some of these because there's not that many people who believe them, so it's hard to get a decent sample. You know, like we mostly do things like survey research, or we do like little lab experiments. So you need a decent sample size for those, and finding that many flat Earth people is difficult. And also, you never know who's serious about it, right?
Right.
Like Tila Tequila, sure, you know, you can recruit her into a study, but if you go to like the flat Earth Society forums, a lot of people on there are trolls and have been for many years, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, if you recruit them into a study, or if you do some analysis of what they wrote, you can't necessarily trust that it's genuine and that that's telling you what people who believe this stuff are like, because they might not actually believe it. But then maybe they talk themselves into believing it, and they were originally trolling, and then they sort of think, well, you know, when you really think about it, it actually makes sense.
I for one don't believe in the flat Earth at all. But we did talk about the hollow Earth a little bit. The holes and such.
Well, there are multiple different hollow Earth theories as well. But I guess, like we stated earlier, most the theories have multiple ones. There's not like one definitive.
It's true.
Even flat Earthers differ.
Yeah.
A bit. Yeah. So, like, my favorite was the nesting planet style hollow Earth theory. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Are we on the top of it, or somewhere in the middle?
We don't know.
We just don't know, dude. We just don't know. All right.
One more question. Can you explain the popularity of conspiracy theories over the years, especially recently?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, we don't really have great poll numbers on this, because there's nobody who's been consistently asking this question over the last 50 years. You know, people say that there are more conspiracy theories now, but the evidence that we have indicates that probably that's not really true. Conspiracy theories, they've kind of always been a part of the intellectual landscape. Maybe you see them more now. This is one of the things that people say that maybe there is it's just because the state of media has changed. You know, you can go online, you can look at a CNN article, and you can see all these comments underneath saying, 9/11 was an inside job, and you wouldn't see that in, if you were reading, your local newspaper 30 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so this stuff is more visible now, and so it feels like there's more of it around. But whether there actually is, who knows, right?
They're just more publicized. It seems
more accessible. I guess
easier to get the access, the information.
Yeah,
especially with the whole internet now.
Literally just a finger tap away, man.
Yeah, for sure. But also, part of it is about trust. Like, if you trust somebody, then you're not likely to think that they're conspiring against you, right? So if you trust politicians, and you trust scientists, and you trust the media, and you trust, big corporations or whoever, then you're not going to believe conspiracy theories about them. And we've seen trust go down in a lot of these institutions, right?
As soon as we stop.
And that probably is going to have some effect. Certainly if you look at medical science. Like trust numbers for medical science have gone down, and
Right.
you know, this coincides with the rise of like anti-vaccine conspiracy theories and
exactly
people
what I
not
was
getting their
gonna
kids, you know, vaccinated for whatever because they think it's all going to cause autism, right?
Right.
So that might be a factor as well.
Big Pharma's lying, and the vaccines are just ways for them to implant fluoride into you and control your mind or something.
Those
Yep.
little microchips, man.
Right, or micro. Yeah. So I was curious, like, when studying conspiracy, like, do you have like a level 1 conspiracy is like, or like from feasible to absurd? Like, do you start with something that could legitimately be true, like the government was behind 9/11, or Bill Hicks changed name to Alex Jones, like something that could, I guess,
1776.
be legitimate, and then like you escalate to absurd, like Barack Obama is actually reptilian and time traveled to Mars in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, like things like that.
It's fun stories,
do you have
man.
a way to distinguish these when you're talking about them, so that you can obviously, like, again, everybody has different definitions of what a conspiracy theory is, but
Different category,
Yeah.
different subgenres. of
like, you know, perjury
conspiracy.
1 versus perjury 5 or something. Or,
This is a perjury. This is a level
This is-
5 conspiracy
Yeah.
theory.
You've been found guilty of conspiracy theory in the second degree.
yeah, is there anything like that when you're discussing or
Yeah, I
researching
mean,
them?
there's a couple of things. Like in psychology, we don't really differentiate like that.
Okay.
People have investigated this, and they've looked at different types of conspiracy theories that are out there, and there aren't that many meaningful distinctions you can draw. One of the only ones that has, I think, any psychological meaning to it is conspiracy theories that look at like a specific group of people, right? And we call those conspiracy stereotypes because it's like, well, this sort of person, you know, whether it's Jews or scientists or whoever, they're like just generally like sneaky by nature, and they're going to go and they're going to conspire with one another, and you can't trust them because that's the sort of person that they are, right? And so you see that with Jews and with Muslims as well, these large sort of ethnic or national groups, and those seem to be a little bit different in some ways from saying, you know, Bush did 9/11 or they faked the moon landing or things like that. But if you look at other fields like sociology, they have this distinction between these conspiracy theories about particular events, like they call them event conspiracies. They have conspiracy theories about like systems of government. They call them systemic conspiracies. And then they have what they call super conspiracies, which are like the big conspiracies that organize all the other ones.
Oh, like the New World Order's in charge of everything.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, the lizard people, they did 9/11, and they were behind the autism vaccine connection.
Right.
And so they organize all the like the sub-conspiracies.
Oh, okay. So
I
there's
wonder if someone started these conspiracy theories just knowing that they're bullshit and just laughing, enjoying watching the people. Some of those people believe it. Just going away, just suckers. I just always wanted to do
like
that.
where they each start from, like who was the first one to say this, and did they believe it or not?
Yeah,
Is that what
like
you're saying?
sort of the etymology of it, you know, where it came
Okay.
from, you know.
Yeah, like have you guys read Foucault's Pendulum?
No,
I definitely no.
I don't-
It's this Umberto Eco book where, and it's basically about this exact thing. It's like these guys make up this conspiracy theory sort of for fun, and then sort of shit starts getting weird pretty
Yeah,
much. And it's a really brilliant book. It's super good.
Wow.
Sounds like a great
What was
movie,
it called
man.
again?
Foucault's Pendulum. Foucault, like it's like this pendulum that swings around. It shows that the Earth is moving on its axis,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I have heard of, but not the book.
Yeah.
Another question I had about, I guess from the psychological standpoint, does someone gradually get into conspiracy theories? Again, do you start at, I could believe conspiracy level 1, and then you like buy into that, and then gradually buy into the more extreme or
You get
absurd
more and more
ones?
paranoid and make
Yeah,
it
or
more
do you,
sense.
or is it more they tend to fall into, like you said, there was the systemic or the, you know, like nationalist ones, or do they just believe in a certain type, or how does it work out? Does it progress, I guess?
So we don't have a good picture of how this happens over time. Like if somebody gets into conspiracy theories or gets out of conspiracy theories, you know, we don't know what that looks like in terms of the time course. But we know that generally speaking, that like, you know, we look at correlations in this field, right? We look at, you know, how strongly is this correlated with that, and how well can we predict this from these other factors? And the strongest predictor of belief in any conspiracy theory is always other conspiracy theories. So if you want to know what somebody thinks about 9/11, you ask them about Princess Diana, you ask them about the moon landing, you ask them about autism and vaccines, and that'll give you like a really accurate picture, more accurate than any personality questionnaire will. And we think that's because there's a lot of reasons for this. It could be that once you start to believe some conspiracy theories, then you trust official stories less, and you start looking and changing your research habits and things like that, and it sort of snowballs, and you start to get to this what we call a conspiracy worldview, where you start to see that the dominant force in history is conspiracy. The history of the world is just the history of all the conspiracies that have been going on.
Well, sure, the winners write the history books, right? So we don't.
That's right.
It could be completely fabricated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they say that, but it's really the writers who write the history books. Like, think about Genghis Khan, nasty guy, right? But everybody thinks he's a nasty guy, even though he conquered like half of Asia. It's because the Mongols were not like the most literate civilization. They didn't settle down and have monasteries copying out manuscripts and stuff. It's the people who wrote about Genghis Khan that changed how we think about it.
That's
true.
That's a damn good argument there.
Or they were writing good things, and he came along, smacked him in the head. He's like, "Forget you, man. I'm gonna write this about you. Everyone's gonna hate you for the rest of eternity."
So he's like, no, draw me on top of a mountain of skulls. Yeah.
Please do that. I don't actually want to hurt anybody, but I want them to fear me. So just spread the legend that I'm this horrible tyrant.
Yeah, that's how things go. So,
warlord.
So, what's going on at Bohemian Grove, man?
Shit, Bohemian Grove. I don't know what they're up to these days. I hear they beefed up their security since the Alex Jones incident.
That's right.
John Ronson incident.
Oh yeah. But that's got to be more than a conspiracy theory by now. It's starting to shed more light.
Like they do weird shit. They get into the woods and they light fires and they do weird chants and things. But like, have you guys been to college?
Yeah, been to college. Yeah,
I've graduated.
Were any of you in a fraternity?
No.
Yeah, I was really briefly. I didn't stay too long, but like they do weird shit. Like they had like I've been sworn to secrecy, right? So I can't get into specifics. I remember this damn thing for ages, but they do things that are like spooky rituals, right? And they do like things where it's like, this is very meaningful and momentous and occult, and it's basically just to like give you a sense that you're part of something special. And I feel like that's probably what Bohemian Grove is in a lot of ways. Now, what they talk about when they're actually there, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like, they have an owl statue and they light fires and they wear robes, I don't think that means that much, honestly.
It's just a way of them feeling like they're these privileged guys in the woods.
They have a common bond, sort of.
Well,
common experience.
It's said that the Manhattan Project was first discussed there at Bohemian Grove. What else is being discussed there is what we want to know, and all the elite are going there.
Yeah. Did you see what Nixon wrote about?
I was about to say, Nixon thinks it's the faggiest group he's ever been to. Yeah,
it was.
But there's also lots of reports. It kind of ties into the Franklin sex scandal, the sex ring scandal with Lawrence King. There was a Paul Benassi, I believe his name, had a diary, and it was read over the air on some sort of I think it was maybe Coast to Coast or something, Coast to Coast, and it was literally this. The story of him going to the Redwood Forest, this male prostitute, and him with another person. That person gets shot, and then they're fornicating with that, and then he had to fornicate with this, and it was all this account of him being in the Redwood Forest sometime in summer, like July or something, or June, whenever Bohemian Grove's happening there. There's got to be that happening still.
They're still got to be killing male prostitutes and having sex with them?
Well, of course, they're elite there. Well, what else is going on there besides talking about
what else could people possibly do in the woods other than defile a dead body? What on earth?
I know that's what I do.
You're right.
We don't know, man. But that's what I believe that they're doing out there. They're having just gay sex with each other.
Every time you bring this up, it just goes, I think you have the issue with gay sex here.
I don't have any problem with gay sex. It's fine. But I'm talking about these elite people going out there and... come on.
What if they want to go into the woods and have secretive gay sex?
I mean, it's fine, I guess. I mean, I'm not hating for that. I'd like them to just come out and say, hey, check it out. This is the resort for the elite where we get naked and fuck. That's right.
Would that be a
down
little,
to Bohemian Grove.
would that be a little more acceptable if that's how they advertised it?
Yeah, let me know if there's GMO in my food. And also let me know when you
What's
guys are having
going
gay
on out
sex
there?
out
Yeah.
there so I can, either
This has
check it out
gone
or not.
so
Yeah.
off topic.
All right, I know. All right, so I got another crazy question from Crazy Los here. Are you a paid shill?
Oh, I mean, I'm paid by my university, I guess.
He's a paid shill. How about, are you a reptilian?
Oh, am I a reptilian?
I mean, you
no,
can tell me if
I
you
am
are or not.
Sadly, not a reptilian. I can't even get into any of the decent clubs. I applied for the Bohemian Grove. They won't let me in.
Oh, man.
Bad times, man.
Well, dude, awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. And you guys got any questions?
That's
Want to say
all right.
anything?
No, I think I got my questions out.
Yeah, I got all mine out.
Well, dude, awesome. Thanks once
Is there
again.
anything you want to
Yeah.
ask or anything you want to plug while you're here and you have people's attention?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I blog occasionally at conspiracypsychology.com, psychology conspiracy theories blog, talk about research mostly. And you can also follow me on Twitter at disinfoagent.
Okay.
I
Disinfo
tweet very
agent.
rarely, so I'm the perfect person to follow because I'm not going to crap up your feed with random stuff about what I ate for breakfast that morning.
Great.
Well, dude, awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. We'll
Thank
be
you very
putting-
much for your time.
Yes, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and talking to some crazy people here in Austin, Texas, man.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, dude. So yeah, that's where
All
we'll
right.
cut.
All righty.
So hey, man, thanks. We're off. We're not recording anymore,
yeah,
so
we're
we're
cut.
good.
Yeah, that's all right. Wasn't there some game that you guys had or something that you were?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to play Idiot or Idiom? Los, do you have
sure.
any idioms ready?
I do have a whole
if you
thing
want
of
to.
idioms, but it would just be you two playing.
Oh, yeah, I already
there's,
know it. Yeah.
Okay.
He
Yeah,
runs
that's
those.
fine.
Can duke
Yeah.
it
I mean,
out.
if you weren't going to do it for this episode, I'm not bothered about it. But
Oh, no. He's
If
got
you're
he's got
down to
them ready.
play it, let's play it.
sure, yeah. Again, I can't remember.
All right.
Yeah, he'll go over the rules and.
All right, good.
You guys want to play a game?
Wow. We've never had a guest ask to play the game before. This is exciting.
Let's play a game. That's right.
He's enjoying this one.
Stealing the rest of your coffee. Wow, you really Irished that one up, didn't you?
All right, that's right. Welcome to another episode of Idiot or Idiom, the only phrase game where we play for the Golden Jazz Master. We are playing with Dr. Wood. He did an interview and he wants to hang out and do some Idiot or Idiom. Thanks for joining us once again. Say something.
Happy to be
That's
here.
right. And this week he's going to face off against Brandon Mitchell, our very own.
I've only got one loss. So, wait,
This is
is it
gonna be a
one
tough
loss
one.
or is it two losses?
I don't
You
know.
don't even
one.
know that's how bad it is.
Let's just go with one.
Let's just say one. It sounds better that way. So how do we play idiot or idiom? Well, what is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase, word, combination of words that no longer mean its literal meaning. It's got a figurative meaning. So we'll give you something, and we'll give you an origin, and then you guess if it's true or false, and that'll be the game. So that being said, Dr. Wood, are you ready to play?
I am.
All
ready
right,
to play.
Brandon, what about you? Are you ready?
I am, man. Let's do it.
All right, let's play idiot or idiom. For the Golden Jazz Master. Here, you keep score, Nick.
All right.
Because Nick's not playing. Nick is not playing
I'm
this
not allowed
one.
to play because I keep winning all the time. So they
He's
kick me
too
out.
good at this game. Number one, yanking my chain. All right, that so it means that you're kidding with me. You know, you're messing with me. You're yanking my chain, kid. All right. So, where does this come from? It comes from water closets. There used to be a chain that you would pull to release the poopies and let your poopies go. Dumps the water. Now, Dr. Wood, is this true or false, this origin story?
So this is basically like a sanitized version of "Are you shitting me?"
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can convince myself that that's true. I'm going to say that's true.
Okay. Brandon, is this true or false? What I said about water closets yanking my chain.
Going with false.
You're shitting me. All right, we're gonna go with Dr. Woods here. He said, what is he? What did
He said
say?
true.
He said true. Is he correct? He is incorrect. I'm sorry, you
yes.
guys. This actually comes from miners. They used to poop in a hole in a box, and it would be on the rails that they would be pushing. And to stop that from moving when they were pooping, they'd have to put the chain. And if you yank their chain, yeah, in front of the wheel so that it wouldn't move. And, you know, their friends would come and yank that chain.
Oh.
And then their poop would go flying.
So I guess
So it is your shitting me.
It still
It's
could
just a
tie
different
into your shitting me.
derivation.
Sort of does. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Half points. Half points. All right, let's get to the next one. Let's play Idiot or Idiom. For the golden Tempest! That's right. Whew, boy, man. Whew.
You out of breath.
Keep your nose clean / hands clean. Okay, so it's like keep your hands clean, keep your nose clean. We're going to keep them both together on this one. Means to
Keep
stay,
it all clean.
Yeah, means to stay out of trouble. Keep your nose clean. All right, you guys ready for this one here? So it moved from hands to nose when it used to mean masturbation. It kind of went to that. You want to keep your... You want to get...
Okay, masturbation was back when it was hands. It has nothing to do with the nose portion.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you did write it too, so definitely get that going in there. So it moved from hands to nose, was it used to be keep your hands from jacking off. Keep your nose, keep your hands clean.
And it's progressed into keep your nose
So when it came to the U.S., it was nose clean. Is that true or false, Brandon?
No longer about masturbation
False,
at that point.
man. False. False.
Okay. Dr. Wood, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's false as well. I think that the fact that happened before it came to the States, I think that like the U.S. is like the center of anti-masturbation paranoia. Like this is how like graham crackers and cornflakes happened, right? So
yes.
I think if it happened, it would have happened in the U.S. So I'm going to say false.
Well, you guys are both incorrect.
Oh, come on.
It actually does. That actually did come from. It used to start off as keep your hands clean, and that was about it.
Not even keep your hands to yourself.
It was just keep your hands clean. It just wanted to keep your mending hands away from your mending cock and balls there. All right, let's play Idiot or Idiom. Ooh, for the Golden Jazz Master.
Got quiet all of a sudden.
It got quiet because I pressed it twice. All right, breaking the ice. All right, so hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
How much does a polar bear weigh?
382 pounds.
No, enough to break the ice? I'm Los. How's it going?
Pretty good. That was pretty smooth.
Thank you very much. All right, so that is going to be our idiom there, breaking the ice. Initiate convo, it's the intro. It's a pickup line. You're breaking the ice there. All right. You guys ready for the intro here?
Let's do it.
So it was to forge a path for others to follow. It was written in the 16th century. And to bear with me would be something you'd... excuse me, I'm reading the next one. I'm sorry. I keep doing that. So to forge a path to others to follow, for others to follow would be 16th century. Is that true or false? Dr. Wood, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's false. I think that's false.
Okay.
If you're breaking the ice for others to follow, I mean, there's not really going to be a path afterwards, right?
No, you would clear the ice and it would...
Oh, you're talking for ships.
Oh, yeah, for the ships.
Okay.
That
would have been pertinent information to put into the explanation.
Thanks for helping me write that, Nick.
I'm gonna go false.
All right. You guys are both incorrect again. That's where it comes from. Come on, buddy. Come on, get your shit together.
Ooh.
It's early for us, man.
It is.
Breaking the ice in front of the ship.
Yeah, it would be coming from literally breaking the ice in front of the ship so others can forge a path for you to follow.
Man, someone should have been better at that on the Titanic.
Oh, yeah. Well,
is that too soon?
Yeah, that was a lovely story.
Well, I thought it was a very lovely story. And you tell it so well.
All right, let's play Idiot or
Such
Idiom.
enthusiasm.
This turned out to be a really shitty part of a shitty game of Idiot or Idiom here. All right, bear
making it
with
work.
me here.
I
Bear
think
with
that's
me.
what we're
so
doing.
bear with me. That is our idiom. That means being patient. You're going to have to be patient with me. So it comes from Shakespeare. He wrote it in Julius Caesar. And then many times. I wish I could write something. I didn't want to write a bunch of lines from his work. But
because then we would force you to read it.
And I
as
don't
a
want to
Shakespearean
fucking
actor.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, Brandon, is that true or false? Does it come from Julius Caesar's Shakespeare's play?
Julius Caesar.
You know what I mean?
I don't remember all of Caesar. I'm gonna go true because I know he did come up with a lot. I remember that
right.
from a previous.
Dr. Wood, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with true as well. I think thinking that Shakespeare invented some phrase is a pretty safe bet usually.
Yeah, exactly. That is the answer a lot in these idioms. But let's check it. You guys both said false, but you guys are still wrong.
No, they both said true.
You guys are okay. You guys
they
should have
both said true.
You guys should have said false because you guys are both wrong. All right, no.
Would you get this right?
Jesus Christ! All right,
Oh,
to
wow.
bear means to carry, or to give birth, or to endure. It's Latin and Greek in origin. That is where "bear with me" actually does come from. Sorry, guys. Come on, keep it going. We got the last one here.
We're trying.
This
play
has
it
been
here.
very tough. The score is 1-0. 1-0.
All right, bad blood.
Oh yeah, we covered this in the syphilis experiment.
That's right,
talked about bad
Tuskegee. So it means you got a dislike. You got some bad blood between me and Nick right now. So there's some bad blood. You know what I
Damn
mean?
right.
That's right. So here's the origin. It comes from blood feuds between families and tribes. All right, where they would fight. They hated each other. Their families. I hate you, Brandon. Dr. What is
like
this?
Hatfields and McCoys?
True.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hatfield and McCoys. They had bad blood between the families there. Dr. Wood, is this true or false? Blood
I think,
feuds.
God, I'm going to go against my instinct here because I've been wrong on every single one so far. I'm going to be like George in that episode of Seinfeld where he does the opposite.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's false because it sounds too reasonable to say that that's true.
All right, Brandon, what do you think? True or false?
He said false.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just a strategic move. I'm gonna say true.
He's gonna say true. Let's go with Brandon. You said true. Is this true or false? Brandon, you are correct by saying that. Somebody had to get it. I keep switching it up on you guys. Let's check. That's been 5 of them. Let's check with the judge. How far are we? Is it a tie?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
Well, guess
It
what,
is
Brandon?
2-0 in favor of Brandon.
Brandon, you have won the Golden Jasmine.
I have one. Good game, sir. Good game.
Maybe next time I'll write those out better.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm sorry. Bullet points
You
didn't work
could
for
totally blame your loss on Los's
me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
struggles
Yeah.
as a host.
It was
You
one-sided.
just blame it on me.
You know, I was almost there, but then the writing just tanked it, you know.
Yeah,
I
sorry. The writing sucks.
It wasn't at all.
My
that I
writing
had
sucks,
an
man.
idea.
It's a conspiracy against the guests.
Take that. You shill. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks again. That was Idiot or Idiot for the Golden Jazz Buster. That's right. All right. So, hey, man. Thanks for playing. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Yeah, man.
Hey, no worries,
I'll
guys.
write that better. Thank you guys for listening once again. This is another episode of Emergency Exit. If you guys like our content, listen and go to iTunes and give us a 5-star. We're on that Apple Podcast thing, mabobber.
And Google Play.
Google Music is where
Google
we're at.
Music, that's
yes. What else? You guys were on Stitcher, wherever you listen
think
to
anything.
us.
Like Player FM is
Player
Yeah,
FM's a good
that's
one.
a pretty popular
Yeah,
one.
and if you guys want
SoundCloud.
to leave us a comment directly on the spot where you were listening and you wanted to comment, go to SoundCloud and you can actually do that. So we have
directly
one
on the track.
We have one from last week,
That's right.
and it's from Bruce. He
Bruce?
says, "That's right."
When? What?
Oh.
Like he just randomly, or was it in response to something?
I'm sure it was in response to something. I didn't listen to where it goes in the
okay.
thing, but Bruce, awesome, man. Thanks for listening, dude. You get that's right. That's right. Cool, man. What else do we
Caught onto our
have?
slogan.
Thank you, Dr. Michael Wood, for coming down
Yes.
and all the way from England and sitting down here at the lab and talking conspiracies and, for playing the idiot or idiom game, which is just getting worse and worse by the fucking game.
Oh, no.
I think I'm done
We're running out of them.
I have to.
You got to pass the torch again?
I got to pass the torch to something else, somebody else that can take over for this game. I'm just not up to it anymore.
Okay.
I'm dying. Closer.
Well, we do need to come up with some other games. We have ideas for other games. So maybe we don't need to be doing Idiot or Idiom as much. We can cycle around some other game ideas.
We got some great games coming.
We got some stuff coming out of the tube, coming down the tubes, out of the pipes.
Down, up, just somewhere through
down
the tube.
Down the poop tube.
Yeah.
Poop tube.
All right.
That's right. Nick, anything to plug?
No, actually, I don't have anything going on this week.
Ryder Guitar.
You can find, find me at Ryder Guitar.
GTR? No, or just guitar.
Guitar.
And Brandon, what do you got, buddy?
Oh man, just check out our YouTube page. There's up and coming more clips up there of best of moments. Check those out.
That's
and,
right.
Give them a like, give them a follow. Same on the Facebooks and the Twitters, Instas, all that good stuff.
Stickers are going out. Stickers came out. We got
stickers have been mailed out.
I handed out a few
stickers.
this weekend.
Great. So stick them up and take a picture. Hashtag emergency exit or EMEX pod.
EMEX pod.
That's right. Thank you, Postman Pauly, for
well.
drop.
Look at you. Shit face.
That's right. All right. So for Nick Ryder,
Yep.
for Brandon Mitchell, I'm Los.
That's right.